The system allows for two different types of scheduling: basic scheduling at the work order level and detailed scheduling at the work order sequence level. Where you can use basic scheduling that just summarizes work orders based on their status and the start date of the work order. Or you can use scheduling in the scheduling module at the sequence level, where you enter run dates for each sequence of work on a work order, and you could also enter run times and a run hour duration. But those two fields are not mandatory for detailed scheduling. Only the run date and that the status of the work order sequence is in process to show up into the scheduling summaries. But first we'll take a look at the basic scheduling at the work order level. To use basic scheduling at the work order level, you could just use the list view at the bottom of the screen, and you could filter records based on if they're in process or if they're done. And clicking on the to find records in process, then you could sort by department, or you could sort by work order date, or any fields in this list. And then you can click the print work order list button to print out a list of work orders that should be in process in your plant at that time. You can maybe print this list every morning just for a basic list of work that is in process. And then the second type of scheduling is at the work order sequence level. And this level of scheduling allows for detailed summaries of all of the sequences of work, and you can summarize by department and by run date. I've entered some test data into some work orders for scheduling at the work order level. Now I'll click the View in Process Scheduling. As you can see, the department field is empty, the run date from field is empty, and the run date to field is empty. So I'll go ahead and click and run this schedule, and what it does is it does a find down in the list view, down in the bottom window. And now I'll maximize that window. And now this is a summary of all of the sequences that are in process at this time. And you can see the field backgrounds change and the field text color changes on the work order. These colors change based on the current date and the run date for the sequence. Right now the current date is 4/28. Any records for 4/28, the field is green and the work order text is green, and the background color for the work order ID is green also. But any records that are before today's date, the work order ID is in red to give you a warning that these are past due. And then any records that are after today's date, the background of the work order ID is in yellow, and the status, the run date, and the run time are also in yellow, and the work order ID is in black. And that's for any records that are for tomorrow. This will give you a warning of what work is coming up tomorrow. And then any records that are after tomorrow, the background is in gray for the status, run date, and run time, and also as the work order ID is in gray. And then you could print out this schedule, and it gives you an option to either print it in color or in black and white. And then you could even just select a record from this schedule to go right to that work order. But now I'll narrow down this schedule a little bit more by choosing a department, and I just want to show all the records for the batching blend department, and I'll put a run date from as 4/28/05, and the run date to is 4/30/05. And now I'll click that View and Process Scheduling, and then I'll expand the window again down on the bottom. And you'll see now we have a smaller summary of just a small group of records that are in process just for the batch fill department. So this is just a schedule of work that needs to be done with color-coded warnings just for one department, which is very powerful, because if this was on the wall in their department and all the employees were able to see this, and it's just a real clear indication of what's past due. That's anything in green, and anything that's due tomorrow is in or actually anything green with a green work order ID is due today. Anything due tomorrow is in yellow, and then anything after that is in gray. So it's a real quick view to see what work needs to be done in any department. And the list of departments is completely customizable, so these names can be changed to anything that works for your company.